So something that I've looked at doing for a little bit, especially in the context of some of the other jobs that I have, is using tabletop RPGs as a teaching reference and a way to troubleshoot things. So I have put together I'm starting to put together a reference doc for basically running IT adventures in various tabletop RPGs. Right now, I've only got everything set up for basic role playing. I haven't quite gone through to test out how smooth it is or balanced or whatnot, but the balance notwithstanding. So, looking at the cross system notes and stuff, the thing that I'm looking at is again teaching. You can also use it for fun stuff to play like your IT crowd scenarios inside of your favorite tabletop game. But I was looking at it as a way to teach and allow low stress but fun environments for students or even other teaching scenarios, groups, corporate groups, what have you, to learn their different roles and to learn how to think through processes of troubleshooting and working in different scenarios. So obviously the links are somewhat like broken down. Well, they're not broken, but they're not displaying the way that I want them to, and I have to change that in my notes that these are based on. But right now I've got, basic role playing as the basic one. So if I go through here, you can see I lifted these ones from the book itself. So like your computer tech and technician are in the standard rules. And then I have put together my own list of more specified professions on top of that. So you've got a larger range of options that you can take advantage of. So maybe a help desk technician is going to be a little bit different than a computer tech, but it's got a different skill set than what a computer tech might have because of the situation that there is with that. You've got a sysadmin that has a different skill set than even a technician. You can see even the computer tech and technician have different skills here. So like you've got the listen and so on, heavy machine. These ones basically dialed down, hopefully a little bit better into each of their categories. I hadn't really come up with any more on top of these that would be applicable, but as time goes on, I would plan on adding more to these homebrew professions. We can also go to our game skills, and I've basically lifted a lot of skills from the basic rule book, but then added my own homebrew sets in, like specific knowledges in more niche and nailed down categories, drive being a basic one for this situation. I mean, for example, driving in a modern world would be a pretty basic skill. And for the time setting that you're looking at currently, as I have the rules set up, driving is pretty ubiquitous unless a player wants to create a really weird character, in which case they may have no driving because they don't drive at all, or if it's really, really weird, they live in a city and they take the bus everywhere. But I've also got combat skills in there just for fun: grappling, brawling, and melee or missile weapons. So this is going to revolve mostly around improvised weaponry, because in the field of IT, you're going to be doing that either with your foot, your fist, or some sort of improvised weapon based on a tool that you have on hand. And most of these skills deal with the idea of percussive maintenance. So, as noted here. So I did take various wording that they had and adapted it for the situation. Obviously, I had to change wording to make it work with what we were dealing with. I've also lifted certain rules from the rule book then altered where necessary in order to make it fit the setting a little bit better. To include sanity points. So I wanted to include sanity points because I know basic role playing, having its roots in Call of Cthulhu and other things like that, it halfway makes sense to have sanity for an IT field because you deal with a lot of things. And plus it adds a little bit of comedy to it to add levity to the exercises per se. But you've got a lot of different like spot rules. So light sources is going to be important. Improvised weapons is kind of there for the usage of tools as percussive maintenance objects. Let's see, personal skill points. This is mostly for like if a player has like, oh, my hobbies used to be this, this, and this, or my character's hobbies used to be this, this, and this, they can enhance their skill points based on those increased personal skill points to add background to it so they could have more knowledge in Linux because they didn't just take classes, they were actually diving into it, they daily drove it in high school or what have you. You've also got different cultures and things that will play into it to how they react to things, what kind of skills they may have. Like maybe they're more proficient at improvised weaponry because they have a Slavic background or they're from the Balkans. You know, things like that. And then, of course, your distinct features for your charisma. If you're a handsome devil, maybe some woman is going to accept your harsh rudeness a little bit easier because you've got a pretty face. Things like that. So those were the rules that I took for basic role-playing. And that's obviously the only one that I have currently right now. Like I said, I have others that I want to work on. These are basically the starting ones that I have to really start with because they're more genre-less. They're not nailed down to Wi-Fi or sci-fi or fantasy. They're a basic system that you can use in just about any scenario, any timeline, and what all. Index card RPG a little bit, I guess, less so. But I like Index Card RPG because of the mechanics that it uses, where everything is, in essence, a combat scenario. And for certain situations in IT, that's really the way it is. And plus Index Card RPG, because of the way those rounds work, you don't have to like roll a d4 or whatever to figure out how long it took you to do a certain action or perform a certain task. Because you are whittling it down either immediately or little by little at a time. GURPS, yeah, it's big. Savage Worlds, again, it's pretty moldable for whatever scenario you need. I do eventually plan on expanding it to other areas for like cyberpunk and what have you, but right now, the genre-less ones are where I'm starting, and I need to figure out a way to be able to get a group together to be able to test these out and actually see how balanced some of them are. If you've ever played basic role-playing game, it's pretty basic. And I like it because of the way that they do things and you increase skills. So each of these have their pluses to why I would use them. Biggest part being genre-less and easily moldable for a modern environment as it stands currently. The other thing that I have in here is I was working on scenarios a long while ago and taking a little bit of inspiration from Kevin Crawford and his Without Numbers series of books that he has now. For sci-fi, fantasy, cyberpunk, post-apocalypse, what have you. Having random tables is really nice, especially when you are dealing with an on-the-spot group of, students or IT professionals. And it makes it easier to find something to work with. And obviously, some of these might have to change as may have to change as CompT expands, possibly, depending on study material, if that is what you're basing your scenarios off of, which I am in this case. And this could expand or change or like be refactored for different teaching situations, obviously. But I wanted scenarios for different levels of certification, because when you're dealing with a school environment or something like that, you've got different problems that you're going to run into, and if you don't have a scenario on hand, it's nice to be able to roll or reference a table that has ideas off the cuff that you can work with. And that was the idea here. So you could have your problem figured out. I don't quite have exact corporate like scenarios fixed out, but the problem itself is a big part of like, well, what problem do I throw at them to make them have to work it? If you've already got like your setting figured out, then figuring out what is wrong is going to probably be the biggest part. And then after that, you can just like fill in and ad lib as necessary. So you can see I've got my core 1 problems, core 2, our network scenarios, we've got our security issues, and then our special Linux table. So I've got some of these rounded out because of special dice that you can get. If you go and look for Dungeon Crawl Classics, Mutant Crawl Classics, Goodman Games stuff, they've got special dice for those. So I could go onto Amazon even and look for DCC dice. So you could get a special set of dice like this for like $10, and you could roll everything on the table. So you've even got the special dice here. I've got like 2 or 3 sets of these dice now because I've picked up a couple different things from them. And it's really cool to have on hand, not only for rolling scenarios, but just in case you happen to run into it. But that, again, that's a thing later down the road. And so here's your whole table of stuff as well. And tables are important, again, for scenario creation. Eventually, I would like to put this on DriveThruRPG for everybody else to enjoy, but right now, as it stands, it's still very rough because it hasn't been tested. Now, for extra scenarios, I came across, as I was looking for other reference material to link in to here. So, like, in this case, the gamification of tabletop exercises video. Backdoors and Breaches is a, in essence, scenario card game where you work through different scenarios of breaches that happen. And you can play this with your IT professionals in school settings or what have you, or even just get it for fun if you're got a group of nerds that you hang out with. And this allows you to go through and play through different scenarios. So I can go into like the expansion deck here. So we could pick out different detections and things like that and wargame the different scenarios. They've got a digital version that you can work with to play with it as well. So you've got a trusted relationship, and then a new service creation modification, background intelligence transfer service, and then malicious browser plugins. So you would go through and you would wargame these different scenarios and your ways that you're going to work with it. And these could add in other scenarios that you could supplement into here as well when working through with the group. You've got your skill checks that you'll play into it, and then your response that you're playing in a tabletop RPG. But Backdoors and Breaches becomes your deck of many vulnerabilities, basically, or deck of many incidents that even I don't even have on my table of stuff. So this is a very good resource that you could use on top of this teaching scenario as a wargame method that you can game master through and teach and learn through. But yeah, tabletop exercise RPGs, different systems. If your favorite system isn't in here, or like I'm not aware of it, add it in the comments or what have you, and I may look at working with it as well after I get through the general stuff. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.